So, I had to show you all this pretty stuff in the yard because I'm sure when people see this, I know because I've heard them do it to my face. They say, "You're so lucky." Okay, that is wrong for two fucking reasons, okay? First off, none of this happened because of luck. All these trees and plants that are flowering and so pretty, they were all work. I had to put them in. I had to go and find them. I'm not rich. I can't go to the store and buy trees. All these trees somebody else wanted out of their yard. So I pulled them up. They were this big and brought them here and planted them. Some of them Eva actually bought me one year. She bought me a bunch of crepe myrtles, but I had to put them in the ground. I had to water them. I have to water them when it's droughting. I have to do all this shit. Number two, plumbing. I am not a plumber. And let's talk about luck. Now, as you know, 99% of the time, I do stuff half-assed because I can't afford to do it the right way. Well, guess what? This I did the right way. I put a freeze plug in. Okay? I put a freeze plug in, freeze-proof faucet. Okay? Years ago, I put it in. Okay. A piece of shit. Now this one is only slightly different from the old one. I cannot, by the way, use this. I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, but I want to show you something. You see that shaft? That's not actual pipe. That's a piece of tin shit. The interior guts, also a piece of tin shit. So, after 15 years, or was it 20? It doesn't matter. It was supposed to last. Okay?
Lifetime.
And you were supposed to be able to install it. Not only did I install it correctly, but I installed it in solid freaking concrete. Okay.
So it would never have to be done again.
So it would never have to be done again. Okay, so I talked about this before a long time ago. These freeze plugs both went out about 3 years ago, and I had to jerry-rig them together. Well, right after the freeze happened, you know, the big blizzard, I told you I checked everything. We didn't have any leaks. Well, that was wrong. Apparently there was so much crud, because our water's very hard, there was so much crud around the actual crack that happened during the blizzard in that piece of tin shit. There was so much crap on it that it didn't leak for a few days. Then I came by and I noticed it was dripping, and I thought, oh, fuck. But knowing that it's in solid concrete, and that in tearing this shit down, I might break it off under the ground level and cause myself to have to replumb everything under the ground, which I don't want to do, and I don't really know how. I thought, I'll just let it drip. Well, the more of the corrosion, as will happen, one drip. So why did it start more and more and more? Well, by the time I came by yesterday, it was trickling out. It was no longer a drip. The entire ground is wet. We're gonna have a huge water bill would be my guess. Okay, so it's gotta be fixed. Okay, so why does that happen? Because the corrosion on there, anytime you puncture through, once it punctured through, the more it ran through there under pressure, the bigger the hole got.
Right.
Okay, and of course, it wouldn't come apart, but okay, I'm gonna show you. See that? That's the freaking pipe in what was 20 years ago a $35 fucking
Oh my goodness, that
freeze-proof
thin thing
faucet.
right there?
That is the fucking pipe.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. So, garbage. You can also see, by looking, you can see the amount of corrosion on the inside walls of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was copper. They're like, well, it's copper. Hello. Look at that. Look how thick that is. Mm-hmm. That's
Thin.
not even regular copper pipe. It's tinned copper. Okay. So, it's very thin copper covered with chrome shit to make it look like pop. So it's cheap ass shit. This is fucking pop metal.
Yay.
So, all right. So, I couldn't get it off because there is no thread here.
Right. Right.
Okay, so I was trying to unthread it. There was no unthreading it. And I couldn't get it. I didn't know that, so I kept trying and finally got tired of trying. And I took a hammer and I broke it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I have now? Now I have a god-awful mess, okay? As you can see. So I'm going to try something that may or may not work, okay? I'm going to try, because I found a pipe that will fit inside there. Mm-hmm. You know, if I hold my mouth just right. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try to get that in there. See how nice and tight it is?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to probably smear that up with silicone and stick that in there, okay? As far back as it'll go. Okay, one of the problems I'm having is I'm having trouble getting the fucking thing dry because, guess what? Even though it's turned off, it's still dripping.
Yay.
So what am I using to dry it off with? An old sock. And in fact, I realized something. My wife threw this sock away. It doesn't have a hole in it yet.
Oh, no.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, it almost
I have another sock that has a hole. You can put them. It almost is not a hole make.
They won't
Why
match.
do I have to teach you everything?
They won't match, but that's okay.
All right. So what I'm doing is I'm taking an old sock, sticking it on this screwdriver, and I'm drying that out. But you can see it's still wet, wet, wet. All right. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have to do something to keep that from leaking long enough for my silicone and shit. So here's an old trick I learned doing this 20-something years ago. Okay, take Play-Doh, or you can mix flour and water if you don't have Play-Doh. Okay? You take Play-Doh, wad it into a ball about the size of the pipe. In this case, I'm going to kind of do that with it because there's a thing. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to try this. If this doesn't work, I can't put a new faucet on here, I'm going to fill the entire thing with silicone and we'll have to run a hose all the way from the venue.
Yeah.
For some of you, that would not be an option. Okay, so I'm going to stick that in there. Then I'm going to take my damn thing.
Are you going to be able to get it out?
No.
Oh.
What happens is when you run water on it under pressure, it pops out.
Oh, of course it does.
Yeah, it won't stay. When you put pressure on that, it'll come out. So what you're trying to do is just kind of seal that back there as best as you can do. So that hopefully it'll stay dry long enough. And that's why I say, am I lucky, people? No, I'm not lucky. I hate it when people say that. Not knowing motherfuckers. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, and I'll show you, I'm going to cut this the length that it needs to be.
The PVC.
I have plumber's epoxy.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put that around the outside. I was hoping to put it on the whole sleeve. The pipe is too tight for that. I have lifetime guaranteed 100% silicone.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that. I have this piece of pipe here with threads on it. I will put silicone on this and then thread this on. If it works, I'll still have a faucet out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if it doesn't, it was worth a try.
Yes.
Because I've only got about $12 in actually what I needed. So, no, probably 15 because I bought so much plumber's epoxy. But I can always use it for other things.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that goes on there. I'm going to cut it to the right length.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah.
Glue it together and let it set for probably 24 hours.
And we'll let you know how it works.
And we'll let you know if it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, you can see me freaking fill the whole thing with silicone.
There you go.
But I'm not bitter about life. Don't call me lucky!
Okay. Out.